Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to quickly show you my Rhyncholaelia Aristocrat. Aristocrat is a primary hybrid between the only two Rhyncholaelia species, Digbyana and Glauca, and it has a really intermediate habit in between those two species. Well, let's just dive into it. So Rhyncholaelia glauca is a generally easier to cultivate species. It needs a little bit less sun and less warmth in my experience, and it has it grows into this specimen size really quickly because it branches a lot. And that's one thing Aristocrat inherited from glauca is all of the branches. It just, usually for younger, well, this is a bigger plant, but usually for younger Cattleya alliance plant, it has like one or two directions of growth. But for glauca, it's like every single lead is probably gonna branch, so it gets really bushy really quickly. And on the flower, of course, you can also see the frills there, and that's the characteristic, the very famous characteristic from the Digbyana parent, and that one can be much more frilly than this, and there are even varieties with fimbriated petals. But in any case, the flower itself is a nice size. Also, this is in intermediate between glauca and Digbyana. Digbyana is a lot bigger, and the flower is a little bit greener in Digbyana in my experience, and a little bit less white and this waxy looking one. The other one is a little bit, glauca is a bit more waxy and thick feeling. Anyways, the fragrance, it also is a combination of both. Granted, both parents smell really similar. In my experience, Digbyana is a lot stronger and richer in a way, and this one also smells really nice. It's like a really nice lemony, citrusy soap, but just really nice. The strength is not as strong as I hoped, but yeah, it's really nice. And both of those parents and the hybrid supposed to be one flower per spike, but this is the second time it's happened to me that on this one spike it gave me two flowers, and of course the flower in the back you can see isn't all the way extended, but one more flower, no complaint, definitely no complaint. But I don't know if this means it's happy or it means it's struggling. I hope it means it's happy. But yeah, it's giving me two spikes on this sheath. And that's another sheath that's probably gonna bloom soon. And there's one in the back, and there are some ones that are blind. And there's new buds coming. And don't mind the burnt spot on the other leaf. Okay, so that's my Aristocrats, and the culture is really straightforward, just like all the other Rhyncholaelias. Well, it's actually easier in a way for most indoor environments. It likes it warm, it likes it sunny, but of course acclimate to the sun. And that's it. It's really drought tolerant. It doesn't need that much water. Of course, active growth, give it plenty of water, and the root is also really strong and healthy. And look at, let me show you the root in the back. Then turn this plant around. Yep, and all the green tips. Okay, I actually have another Aristocrat that's in blue. Let me just quickly show you. This one's in the sun, so it might be a little bit hard to see. Yeah, because this is a primary hybrid, so there's obviously variations between different parents who used, and this one seems to be a little bit more frilly and a little bit bigger, but this one is in a lot more of a sunnier spot, and this actually gave me a double sheath, and I thought it won't flower, but then it finally pushed through. That's the other thing with those. It's just like it takes so long for me between me seeing the sheath and the flower happening, and sometimes I get really worked up and impatient about it. And just some other housekeeping. That's my, well, I guess not housekeeping, other updates. That's my Force of Paradise Emerald Owl flowering again, and this is the nobelior that's still in bloom, and already, actually, where is the spike? Let me find the spike. Actually, already pushing out a new growth. I don't know if it's gonna be flower growth spike or just a regular vegetative growth, but either or, it's nice. I love it. It's a really strong plant. And some other things, my Masmahor, Brassavola nodosa is flowering constantly. And this plant, I didn't really water it at all for the past 2 weeks. I was sick. I'm still kind of sick. So, but it's still surviving, but it's very shriveled. And of course, I think the light is a bit strong. You can see all the spots on it. And my Aurea Diana is that it's in the middle of this new growth, and it has another growth somewhere in the back, like back there, which is really nice. I got this plant again from Goldsmith, and they said they got a lot of, after Hurricane Milton ripped through some of the roofs, I think it got a bit some damage, and they just gave me this plant. Isn't that nice? And right now I think it's doing well. It pushed a lot of new roots earlier this month, last month, and we'll see. All right, cool. One last look of the Aristocrat. Let's look at its glory, and isn't that nice? It's so beautiful. I love it. Okay, well, hope you are doing well. Spring is just around the corner. We're gonna have another cold blast this weekend, but hopefully it will be the last one of the season, and I just cannot wait for spring. I'm just so sick of the cold, and hopefully it will be a good spring and summer and year. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great one.